First of all, I just want to say thank you for the feedback on the previous video about team ownership in Formula 1. That is my first ever YouTube video. So some of the editing, yeah, it can use some work, but we've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? So, on to the next one. Early in September, the news broke that Renault F1 team would be rebranded as Alpine F1 team for the 2021 season and beyond. But the news was overshadowed, kind of, by the return of Aston Martin, Sebastian Vettel's move, and the updated calendar for the rest of 2020. In this video, we'll be looking at who Alpine is and why this decision makes all of the sense in the world. There's a few reasons for, I think, why this move makes sense. So, in no particular order, let's go to number 1. Formed by Jean Rodellet in the mid-50s, the company adapted Renault 4CVs for racing in the Mille Miglia and the Alpine Rally, which is where the name came from. Alpine also competed in major events like Le Mans and Sebring endurance races relatively early in their existence. Based on the 4CV chassis, Alpine produced the fiberglass-bodied, rear-engined A106 in 1955, designed by Italian Giovanni Michelotti. Never heard of him, right? Michelotti also designed other iconic cars like the Ferrari 250, BMW 2002 and Ron Weasley's favourite, the Ford Anglia. Following the A108 came the well-known A110, which was so successful that Alpine was allocated all of Renault's competition budget by 1968. The A110 won the World Rally Championship in 1973, beating the likes of Porsche, Lancia and Ford, with competition cars running Gordini engines delivering roughly 180 brake horsepower. That gave the A110 a similar power-to-weight ratio to cars like the BMW M6 and Porsche Cayman GT4. That's in a rear-engined, fiberglass-bodied rally car. As a result of the fuel crisis, Alpine was bought out by Renault in 1974 and merged with Gordini to create Renault Sport. Once again, Alpine found international success in 1978, winning the Le Mans 24 Hours with the Alpine A442B. Alpine and Gordini, together known as Renault Sport, entered F1 in 1977 and lived up to the stereotype of French cars being cool, but unreliable. The 1.5-litre V6 turbo engines they used were hugely powerful, and the first turbo engines regularly used in F1. But they rarely lasted a race. Their first F1 victory came in 1979 at the French Grand Prix. After a 1-2 in qualifying, Jean-Pierre Jabouille took the checkered flag, with René Arnoux just losing out to Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari for second place in a great battle to the line. Through the late 70s and into the 80s, Alpine leveraged their work in motorsport to create more road-going sports cars. Their A310, initially released in the late 70s, ended production in the early 80s with a 3-litre V6. The Renault Alpine GTA was released in 1984 with some very 80s looks. They also released the wide-body turbocharged Le Mans variant in 1990. That's probably the coolest sounding car ever, wide-bodied V6 turbo called the Le Mans. The car was considered a serious challenger to the Porsche 944 and was even described as the French 911. Finally, the A610 was released in 1990, with the last one rolling out of the factory in 1995. The factory originally used in 1973 is now the home of Renault Sport, and was the home for well-known Renault pocket rockets like the Renault 5 Turbo, Clio Williams and the Renault Sport Spider, which you definitely forgot existed, and the wide-body Clio V6. To this day, the factory still develops Renault Sport models like the Clio and Megane. It's basically where they make the Renaults that you'd want to own. The Alpine name was more or less shelved until they made their return to motorsport in 2013. In partnership with French companies Signatec and Oreca, powered by Nissan engines, Alpine joined the European Le Mans series. They were very successful, winning the team titles in 2013 and 2014. A couple of years later, Alpine made a well-received return to road cars with the release of the beautiful A110. A throwback to Alpine's successes in rallying, this little coupe isn't particularly powerful, but it handles like a dream and it's made for those twisty mountain roads up in the Alps. I think this car is hugely underrated. It was reviewed well in the press, but it's kind of disappeared off everyone's radar. If I won the Euro Millions, I would buy one of these cars the following day. That's how much I like these cars. I think they're brilliant. They're perfect for British B roads. With that in mind, if you've learned something about Alpine so far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe a little click on that subscribe button down there. It all really helps with the growth of our channel. We really would like to bring you more content. So we're now at a point where we know quite a lot about Alpine's history and why they're relevant in terms of Renault. But why does that mean that they're the new face of the Renault F1 team? Reason number 2. Renault's lack of success since 2016's return. Renault's lack of success in this version of the team, I'm not counting the weird Lotus Renault stuff from 2011 to 2015, has been a bit of a disappointment. Their best result so far has been 4th in the Constructors' Championship in 2018, and while there have been good moments, the majority has been a bit meh. 4 races with a 4th place finish, but no podiums since 2016. Renault have only achieved 2 constructors' titles as the actual constructor rather than engine supplier, when Fernando Alonso went back-to-back in 2005 and 2006. Alonso's 32 victories at Renault account for a massive 91% of Renault's 35 victories as a named constructor. Fortunately, Renault have begun to show some real progress in 2020, so Alpine could actually be a competitive team in 2021. This presents Alpine with a great opportunity. Increasing Alpine's brand awareness. The fact is, this is a financial decision to boost Alpine's brand image. Whether or not this means more Alpine products in the future is anyone's guess. But it would seem strange to spend so much money on this kind of change, including Alonso, for no more cars. I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and I hope that Alpine becomes responsible for the hot Clios and Meganes in the future. The current crop have become less pure as hot hatches, moving to automatic or paddle shift gearboxes and bigger bodies. I know it might not be very responsible of me, but I would really like to see an Alpine Clio RS with a big turbocharged engine and a manual gearbox. I think that'd be really cool. The Renault-Nissan brand image. To me, this is the big one. It's the big money question. You ask racing fans to name a Renault and a Nissan, they'll probably say the Renault Sport Clio and the Skyline. You ask shareholders to name a Renault and a Nissan, and they'll tell you the Zoe and the Leaf. Formula E is expanding rapidly, with big manufacturers taking an increasing interest, and Renault's biggest partner, Nissan, running what was Renault's partnership with EDAMS. I did the first video that I did on team ownership, so if you'd like to find out more about the Renault-Nissan alliance, there's more information in there for you. You could argue that major manufacturers are looking more and more towards Formula E than Formula 1. So let's compare. F1 has Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Honda, through a Red Bull, Renault, Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin. Formula E has Mercedes, Porsche, Audi, BMW, Nissan, Jaguar and DS, who are owned by Peugeot Citroën. In my opinion, this is the biggest reason why Renault have chosen to hand the reins of the F1 team over to Alpine for 2021 and beyond. The Renault-Nissan alliance has their small volume, high performance brand in F1, the highest peak of motor racing innovation and brilliance, and their more everyday partner brand in Formula E, nicely positioned to make the most of both platforms. All that said, I hope Alpine really excels in F1. I like the brand, and a classic name on the grid is always a good thing in my opinion. I just hope their livery looks as good as a preview we were given recently. What other niche brands would you like to see in F1? Let us know in the comments, and remember to give the video a like if this video gave you a new perspective. Last thing, remember to share the video with someone who loves F1, and please continue to tell us how we can improve.
Like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to ensure that you get all my latest videos.